Alright, let's try this for a third time. So, welcome to NFL Road to NFL Sets and Ends. I'm your host, Jacob. And to finish up on what I was saying, your defense for the Cowboys was not particularly good. Survived, made a couple key fourth down stops, 3 of them. DeMarcus Lawrence stops a key defender, key running back from getting the first down. They blitz on another one that Dino throws it too quickly, and Jackson Smith and Jigba can't find the ball. And the last one you leave Micah Parsons unblocked, and that was game. But again, Dak led the way in this game. That's what you got to do as a premium quarterback, and he did. And so that's good job by Dak Prescott. Now, moving on into the next game, which was Broncos and Texans, in a game that Russell Wilson turned the ball over 3 times. Very opportunistic Texans defense. And the Broncos defense did keep them around in it, which is what you want them to do. But I think the Texans just made enough plays to win the game. And again, even though you didn't win by a lot in these circumstances, 22-19 was the score, you did enough to win, and that's important. So you gotta be happy about that. Moving on into the Browns-Rams contest. In the game, we saw Joe Flacco be the quarterback. The 38-year-old was on the practice squad, got elevated, became the starter. He was not terrible. He was actually pretty good. There was a couple plays that he made some mistakes on, but he was not the reason you lost. There was definitely some issues. The Rams being able to run the ball against your stout defense. Puka Nacua becomes the first Ram player in history to have 1,000 yards as a rookie. There are definite issues, don't get me wrong, but Matt Stafford tore it up. 300 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, I believe. He was awesome. You can't allow that to happen if you're the Rams. If you're the Rams, you want that to happen. If you're the Browns, you can't allow that to happen. And especially the way that Baltimore is playing. Pittsburgh lost yesterday. Cincinnati and Jacksonville play on Monday. You can't really afford for that to happen. You're just going to run out of time. Now, moving on into the last game, the 49ers and Eagles. Like I said earlier in a previous stream, the Niners and Eagles, this was going to be a fight. Both teams were chatty, I guess would be the best word, including the coaches were a little chatty. They were frustrated. The 49ers still believe that they should have won the game in the NFC Championship if they would have had a quarterback. The Eagles feel like that wouldn't have been the case. Well, again, the Eagles' offense does not show up in the first half. The Niners' offense does. Then they go right down the field, go and score some points. And again, you can't have this happen to you if you're the Eagles. And it was bad. The touchdown to Brandon Ayuk, 3 total touchdowns by Debo, 2 receiving touchdowns when rushing, a touchdown by McCaffrey, and I'm missing one. Brock Purdy has 4 total touchdowns, no giveaways, played really well. MVP? No, because an MVP you need to be able, you did you dominated, you beat them 42-19, but you need to have, in my opinion, to be an MVP, you have to be able to go through adversity. Also, as in, you gotta if he would have won when Debo was out, for those couple games earlier in the year, if he would have won one of them, we'd have a different conversation. But they didn't, and he played out in those games. So it's hard to say, okay, you're a really good player, or you're a really good team, or you deserve to be in the MVP conversation if the things that we have to say are when they are completely healthy, they're the best team. To me, that's not accurate. That's not you can't really be able to say that because most teams on offense aren't healthy throughout the whole year. So if you're gonna have one guy, key guy that is injured, you still to me, it's more important that you have to be able. So what I'm saying is you can put him in the conversation, but I think that you have to have a much better understanding of this. So I wouldn't I guess you could, but I wouldn't put him in the conversation. Now, for Jalen, again, he kinda got banged up, came back into the game, was fine in this game, he was okay. Um, I just I wanna see more out of this offense. This offense has not clicked all year. And maybe they'll click in a week or 2, but you're at this point you're in December now. Your offense has not clicked. That's a problem. And the defense has struggled. They really struggled. Debo's made some great catches, but there's plays that he's wide open. Brandon Ayuk made some tough physical catches, caught a touchdown. Like, those are things that cannot happen if you're the Eagles. Cannot happen. Christian McCaffrey ran everywhere as he wanted to go. They just put him right behind Trent Williams. There we go. That's what they did. The Eagles could not stop the Niners, no matter what they did. Like I said, there was no turnovers, so you did everything you had to do. Now, I also want to say this. If you look on Twitter, everyone was saying, well, yeah, but everyone said that the Niners did cheat a little bit. They were holding and we weren't getting those calls and stuff. Hence, the entire NFL has said this for the past year that there's been some bad officiating. Yet you've always come out on the positive end of it. This is the one game you didn't, and now you understand what we've been talking about for the past month or the past year. Just because you didn't get it doesn't mean like just because like there's been bad officiating here, but you've just been on the positive end of it. Now, what I really have to mention is this: the there was a fight between Dre Greenlaw and head of security for the Eagles, Dom. I want to pronounce his name right. Let me find it. Let me find it. Okay, and Dom Desadro, Desadro, and both people were ejected. Now, I don't know what was said. Mike Florio said, well, after the game, Sirianni had to went and apologized to Shanahan, so something happened. But from what I can gather, DeSardo went and was trying to separate an Eagles player from a Niners player, and he was putting his hands on Greenlaw and kind of chirping back at Greenlaw and Greenlaw saying, "No, don't do that," or something like that. He started chirping back at him, and Greenlaw took a swing at him, which got Greenlaw ejected. Well, not Shanahan was hot, and all the Niners players were hot because they were saying, "Well, you have to be ejected too because you can't do that." So they ejected him as well. The NFL has said, and it's expected from higher ups in the NFL front office that DeSardo will be um, handled with. Some people expect a ban of some sort. I don't know what it would be. I would also wouldn't be surprised if the Eagles get some kind of punishment because really security the security insecurity is not supposed to be that close to the side of the field. He's not supposed to be that close. So what? Either he ran over there or he was there in the beginning. Either way, he's not where he's supposed to be. So there was a definite problem. They asked how about it. I won't read the whole thing. Um, and then they actually interviewed Walt Anderson, the head of officiating, and asked why. They said, "Well, we couldn't throw a flag on that's the sign. I think it's D'Alessandro, if I'm pronouncing it actually correctly. If I'm not, I mean, let's pronounce it. But they said we can't throw a flag on him. He's not a player, but we can get him out of there still." It was also a weird day entirely. We saw 2 ejections after normally you don't see any. Now we saw 2, so it's kind of strange from that perspective. But yeah, you can expect D'Alessandro and the Eagles to get reprimanded. Greenlaw will probably get fined, but the Eagles might get something far worse. What has the NFL decided? I don't know. 2 things before we go. Number 1, we saw this on as we continue with the Eagles. We saw this on uh, Saturday night. I saw this. It says that Roger Goodell had said that he wants to, quote unquote, according to Diana Rossini, quote unquote, permanently wants to ban the tush push or brotherly shove play. Doesn't like it. Doesn't feel like it's good for the game. Wants to permanently ban it. The rules committee meetings happen in March. If it doesn't happen there, I guarantee you Goodell does can it. If not, if the committee doesn't do it after, just because I think it's, and I keep saying it to this. I don't have a problem with the play. I don't care for it if players get hurt, but I think the players they don't want to say it because they're prideful. But if if it was me, I think it's the frequency the Eagles run. It's too frequent. It's too much. Like in the they don't shy away from it either. They're saying, yeah, we always know it's like 1st and 9 and not 1st and 10 because we know we can run that play and get a first down. So I don't like it because of the frequency. And Goodell might share the same sentiments. And final thing, Shaquille Leonard is going to make his decision, looks like, on Monday. He's going to inform the teams on Monday of where he chooses to go. Let's see what exactly happens. But, you know, it's an interesting. I still think, Eagles are probably the best place for him to actually play. But if you want to go to a team that, you might be able to be a key rotation player at the line position, Dallas might be the best shot for you. Again, these 2 teams play each other next week, and that is with the division on the line. And we will talk about that more on Wednesday. For NFL World, I'm Jacob Hebert. Out.